Men don't like to talk about it. Society either demonizes it or pretends it doesn't exist. But the truth is, lust is a silent battle that most men secretly struggle with, and it's far more dangerous than you think. This isn't just about temptation or self-control. It's about how lust infiltrates the mind, weakens masculinity, and destroys everything in its path. From relationships to personal ambition, countless men are trapped in a cycle they don't even realize is controlling them. If you've ever felt like you're constantly fighting temptations, like no matter how much you try to resist, lust keeps creeping back in, you're not alone. In fact, this struggle has destroyed more great men than war, poverty, or failure ever could. Lust is not a new battle. It has taken down kings, ruined the reputations of leaders, and turned strong men into weak shadows of themselves. But the worst part? Most men don't even see it happening. Society has normalized it to the point where men are expected to indulge in it, as if it's just a natural part of being male. But what they won't tell you is that lust doesn't just stay in one area of your life. It spreads. It weakens your discipline, clouds your mind, and keeps you in a state of never being satisfied. Why do so many men wrestle with this battle in silence? What's really happening behind the scenes? And more importantly, how can you overcome it before it ruins your relationships, your confidence, and even your future? Stick with me because today we're exposing the dark truth about men and lust, what society won't tell you, and what you must understand if you want to regain control over your mind, your desires, and your life. Before we dive in, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss more deep, eye-opening content like this. Let's get into it. 1. Lust is a psychological trap. The first thing you need to understand is that lust is not just a feeling, it's a psychological trap. It's designed to hook you, to make you crave more, and to keep you in an endless cycle of desire and guilt. What makes lust so dangerous is that it operates on a deep level within the brain, hijacking the same reward system that keeps people addicted to harmful substances. Every time you indulge in lust, whether it's through explicit content, fantasies, or unhealthy relationships, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that fuels addictions like drugs and gambling. First, it feels good. It gives you a temporary high, a rush of pleasure that makes everything else seem irrelevant. But after that, you crash. You feel empty, unsatisfied, and worse than before. And here's where it gets dangerous. Your brain starts craving more. What once satisfied you no longer does. You start needing something more extreme, more intense, more forbidden. And before you know it, you're trapped. This is why men who fall into lust rarely stay in control for long. They think they can manage it, that it's just a little fun, but lust always demands more. And here's the reality. Lust is never satisfied. It doesn't care if you're in a relationship. It doesn't care if you have a goal in life. It doesn't care if you're trying to build yourself into a better man. It only cares about keeping you enslaved to the next high. Have you ever wondered why some men, even powerful ones, risk everything for lustful desires? It's because their minds have been rewired to crave that temporary pleasure, even at the cost of their careers, their families, and their dignity. Lust is not a harmless urge. It's a slow poison that destroys men from the inside out. 2. Lust weakens your masculinity. Every time you give in to lust, you lose a part of your masculinity. Sounds extreme? Let's break it down. Men are built to lead, protect, and conquer challenges. But when you let lust control you, you become weak. You become reactive instead of proactive. Instead of being a man of discipline, you become a man of impulse. The difference between weak men and strong men isn't just about physical strength or money. It's about control. A man who can control his mind, his emotions, and his desires is a man who is respected. But a man who is controlled by his urges is seen as weak, not just by society but by women as well. Think about this. Some of the most successful, disciplined men in history, warriors, kings, and leaders, practiced self-control. They knew that their greatest enemy wasn't the battlefield. It was their own desires. Lust drains your energy, weakens your willpower, and makes you less confident. It turns you into a man who chases quick pleasure instead of long-term success. And here's the real kicker: women can sense it. A man controlled by lust loses his edge, his mystery, and his power. Women may be drawn to you for temporary pleasure, but they won't respect you. They can feel the difference between a man who is controlled by his urges and a man who is in control of himself. This is why lust isn't just a personal problem. It affects your relationships, your ambitions, and how the world perceives you. 3. Lust destroys your relationships. When lust dominates a man's mind, it doesn't just affect his personal satisfaction. It destroys his ability to truly connect with a woman. The moment you start viewing women as objects of pleasure rather than as human beings with emotions, dreams, and depth, your ability to form meaningful relationships begins to fade. You might still be in a relationship, but your mind is elsewhere, constantly wandering, constantly craving, never fully present. This creates emotional distance, and no woman wants to feel like she's in competition with the fantasies in your head. She may not say it outright, but she will feel it. She will notice your lack of presence, the way your attention drifts, the way your desire for her seems to fade over time. And once a woman senses that she is no longer enough, she starts pulling away too. Even worse, unchecked lust often leads to addiction. Whether it's pornography, casual flings, or an endless cycle of chasing new women, these behaviors slowly eat away at your ability to commit, to trust, and to experience real love. A man who is ruled by lust is never content, because lust is an insatiable hunger. No matter how many experiences you chase, you will always want more. And the more you chase, the less satisfaction you find in what you already have. This is why many men wake up one day, after years of indulgence, only to realize they've lost the one person who truly cared for them. They thought they were living the good life, but in reality, they were running in circles, never finding real fulfillment. The damage doesn't stop with romantic relationships. Lust also affects your friendships, your family, and even your professional life. When your mind is constantly occupied with sexual thoughts and distractions, your focus suffers. Your ability to engage in deep conversations, to be a strong leader, and to build genuine connections weakens. Lust isolates you. It makes you selfish, restless, and emotionally unavailable. And in the end, it leaves you feeling empty, no matter how much you've indulged. If you want to have a relationship that is built on love, trust, and mutual respect, you have to recognize that lust is the enemy. It may promise excitement, but in reality, it only delivers destruction. The strongest men are not the ones who have the most experiences, but the ones who have the discipline to control their desires and build something meaningful. 4. Lust kills your ambition and purpose. A man who is consumed by lust is a man who has lost sight of his true mission. Think about the most powerful and successful men in history, the leaders, the warriors, the thinkers, the innovators. These men were not controlled by their lower desires. They were driven by purpose. They had a vision, a goal, a calling that was bigger than momentary pleasure. Now, compare that to the average man today. Constantly distracted, constantly chasing quick dopamine hits, wasting hours on pointless indulgences. It's no coincidence that the more a man gives in to lust, the less ambitious he becomes. Lust drains your energy, your time, and your mental clarity, leaving you weak and unfocused. Lust is a thief of time. How many hours have men lost scrolling through explicit content, chasing meaningless encounters, or fantasizing about things that will never bring them true satisfaction? Every moment spent indulging in lust is a moment that could have been used to build something valuable, to improve yourself, to master a skill, to chase a dream, to create a legacy. But lust tricks you into thinking that pleasure is more important than purpose. It convinces you that you can always focus on your goals later, but later never comes. Because once you fall into the cycle of lust, it becomes harder and harder to escape. Beyond time, lust also kills a man's discipline. Self-discipline is the foundation of success in every area of life, whether it's business, fitness, relationships, or personal growth. A man who cannot control his desires will struggle to control anything else. He will find it difficult to stay consistent, to push through challenges, and to make the sacrifices necessary for success. Lust creates a pattern of instant gratification, where instead of working hard and delaying rewards, you seek immediate pleasure. And once that mindset takes over, it infects everything you do. Instead of pushing yourself, you take shortcuts. Instead of staying focused, you seek distractions. Instead of building a future, you waste the present. The truth is, men were designed to chase greatness, not fleeting pleasure. The strongest, most respected men are not those who have given in to every desire, but those who have mastered them. If you look at the most disciplined and high-achieving men, whether it's in history or today, you'll notice that they understand the power of controlling their urges. They channel their energy into their mission, their goals, their legacy, because they know that the moment they lose control over themselves, they lose control over their destiny. If you truly want to become the best version of yourself, you must learn to see lust for what it is, not a harmless indulgence, but a trap designed to keep you from becoming the man you were meant to be. 5. The escape from lust starts with self-mastery. So, how do you break free? How do you escape the cycle of lust and reclaim your mind, your confidence, and your future? It all comes down to self-mastery. The first step is awareness, understanding that lust is not just a normal part of life, but a destructive force that weakens men. Once you recognize this, you can begin to take control. The next step is discipline. You must train your mind and body to resist instant gratification. This means cutting out the things that fuel your temptations, whether it's explicit content, toxic social media, or certain environments that lead you down the wrong path. It means filling your life with meaningful pursuits: fitness, business, self-improvement, spirituality, deep relationships. The more you focus on growth, the less power lust has over you. But self-mastery is not just about removing temptations, it's about replacing them with something greater. A man who simply tries to avoid lust without replacing it with purpose will eventually fall back into old habits. That's why you must have a vision for your life. What are you building? What is your mission? What legacy do you want to leave? The more you focus on your goals, the more you will see lust for what it really is: an obstacle in your path, a distraction from your destiny. It won't be easy. There will be moments of weakness, moments where you feel like giving in. But true strength comes from resisting those moments, from proving to yourself that you are stronger than your urges. And every time you choose discipline over desire, you become a better, more powerful man. Society will tell you that indulging in lust is normal, that it's harmless. But deep down, you know the truth. You know that it is holding you back. You know that you are meant for more. The question is, will you take control, or will you let lust control you? The choice is yours. Lust is not just a personal struggle. It's a war for your mind, your masculinity, and your future. It is a trap designed to weaken men, to keep them distracted and unfulfilled. It destroys relationships, kills ambition, and turns strong men into weak shadows of themselves. But the good news? You don't have to be a victim. You can take control. You can break free. But it starts with a decision to rise above your impulses, to master yourself, to chase something greater than temporary pleasure. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let's build a community of strong, disciplined men who refuse to be controlled by their desires. Share your thoughts. Have you ever struggled with this? What strategies have helped you stay disciplined? Let's talk in the comments. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, and never let lust define your destiny.